Welcome to Falcon Sledge. I'm Austringer, and you are watching a hardware review. And today we'll be doing a review that many of you have been waiting for. And it has honestly been one of the most difficult reviews that I've ever done. Not because of the product, but because of life, and how things we do affect our ability to complete certain projects. And so as it has become a custom so far, let's start with some channel and personal news. As it seems change is a constant in life, I will not be able to fill my permit for a wild peregrine falcon this year. I was, however, able to, with the help of friends, locate a sharp-shinned hawk nest, and now I will have what we believe is a male sharp-shin or sharpie. He hasn't been named, but he's growing at an astronomical rate, and we'll have some hunting videos for you soon. The format for these will be very short, mostly unedited videos. My primary focus for this channel is flight sims and space sims hardware, so that's where I'll focus my editing and production efforts. But I'll toss some falconry in there a bit, just to add some variety. As I've spoken about previously, I moved to a new house, and as such, have been very busy with all the things that come with getting into a new place. But in addition to all that, my video card of many years had a couple of bouts with overheating, and now is not performing as it once did. And because of that, I apologize for any slightly lower quality or lower frame rate recordings that may appear between now and when I can find a way to get a new video card. All the hardware that is used on this channel to date is all purchased by me. Nothing is donated. I've been asked by a few people if I had a way to donate to my channel for purposes of review, hardware, and whatnot. I created a Patreon account, and I've provided the link in the channel description. Please don't feel obligated to donate. And if you choose to do so, please only do so if you can afford it. 100% of any donations received will be used directly to support the channel. So let's get down to the review. I've really enjoyed my time with the Gunfighter Mark.III. This stick and base is incredibly versatile and customizable. It costs $379 as tested. Let's first go over the details. The Gunfighter base is an all-metal, replaceable single-cam system with single or dual springs and has a friction clutch for each axis. This allows the user to change the feel, resistance, and the dampening of both the X and Y axis. The ability to use a single or dual spring allows the use of long extensions without overpowering the gimbal springs, with the extra leverage that extensions provide. The cams can be swapped out easily and quickly, and there are videos on YouTube provided by VKB on how to perform this. The gimbal comes with the AVIA-S cams installed, which are also the cams I used in this video. This is an aviation-style cam with a soft center. Soft centers don't provide the tactile feedback as to when you're crossing over the center of the axis, or when the stick is centered. I tried all the cams that come with the Gunfighter, and my favorite, for feel anyway, are the soft-centered cams, as it makes the fine movement in the center a bit easier when you're not pushing out of the detent. However, I have to admit, for space sims I did like the hard center, and part of it is that I like a bit stronger dampening, so the clutches were clamped down a bit harder, so the hard center held the stick in the center a bit better than the soft-centered cam. This doesn't seem to bother me at all in the aviation sims. There are a variety of springs that come with the Gunfighter, from 10 to 40 pounds. My preference is the 30-pound springs, though I did like the 40s as well. The dampening clutches can be adjusted under the boot at the top of the stick using an Allen wrench. Unfortunately, these cannot be adjusted without taking the boot off. VKB uses a proprietary connector for the Gunfighter, which means out of the box it can only accept other VKB grips. However, there is a kit you can purchase from VKB that will convert Thrustmaster sticks to use the VKB connector. In theory, this could work on other sticks that are also Thrustmaster compatible, like the Virpil sticks. This is something I look forward to testing later this year. Kosmosima grip is identical to the Gladiator NXT grip, whether it is the standard or the premium, with the exception of the connector. It is feasible that if you got the parts, you may be able to convert the Gladiator NXT grip to the Kosmosima, though I didn't verify this. Perhaps some experimentation is warranted. I did contact VKB and they said that they do not ship out some of these parts though. The grip portion of this review is taken directly from the Gladiator NXT review, as the grips are the same, so you may see some reused clips here. The grip has the standard X, Y, and Z axis. On the front, there is a simple pinky button, which has a nice tactile click to it. Sometimes the pinky button feels like a tiny bit of a reach, but for everyone except for those with very short fingers, this should be just fine. There's a thumb hat with a click that is easy to operate, and it has a bit of a thumb rest just inboard of the hat itself. But I usually rest my finger on the hat. This hat is replaced by a button in the standard model. Straight up from there, we have our red secondary button that is ideally placed for easy operation. This button has the same feel as the pinky button. Above that are 3 hat switches. All of them are easily accessible, and all of them have good feels to them. All of them have the center click functionality, and you can remove the center caps and swap them out with each other in order to fit your preference of feel. For example, I swapped this hat for that one, because in my case I have the premium model, and in the premium model you have an analog stick in the place of this hat. And I much prefer the cupped style hat for the analog stick. On the left, we have a cheek button, for the lack of a better term. This button is really easy to reach without changing your hand position on the stick. Coming around to the front of the stick, we have two two-stage triggers. The upper trigger can be pushed both forward and backwards. This secondary trigger is not present in the standard model, only the premium. The primary dual-stage trigger has a good tactile feedback in both stages of the trigger. The trigger's first stage activates around halfway through its travel, and the second stage requires a bit more force than the primary to activate, and it activates all the way at the end of the travel. There are 2 different sized pads that are included with the Premium Edition that raise the hand rest. The stick comes equipped with the smaller of the 2. With my hand size, it is most comfortable for me with no pads installed at all. I wear extra large gloves, and if you have larger hands than me, it may be better to go with a larger stick, such as the MCG. So, enough looking at this thing. How does it fly? Well, I can tell you that it flies pretty well. Starting with Star Wars Squadrons. As I mentioned above, please forgive any lower performance and quality. My video card really hates VR right now. With that combination of good resistance and dampening, the Gunfighter Mark.III has the true feel of a high-quality gimbal. Using the Avia S-Cam, the resistance is progressive but not overbearing, and the transition between the axes are smooth and precise. The magneto-resistive sensors in the Gunfighter are incredibly accurate, and at no time does it feel like the tracking is doing anything but exactly what I want it to. The triggers are tactile and easy to use, and the pickle button, in my opinion, is perfectly placed right where your thumb ends up when you lift it. No need to release your grip or adjust your grip to stretch your thumb up like on the Warthog. Next up is DCS aerial refueling, which is something we do with every stick, as it requires extreme precision and accuracy.
Contact. Clear contact.
We approach nice and smooth, with small corrections to line up with the basket. And we have contact. I don't know where this little habit came from to pull back on the stick on contact, but for some reason I keep doing that. I had some real challenges making this recording because of the video card issue, and it did this every single time. I don't know if this is a critique on the Gunfighter or not, but since starting to use the Gunfighter I've noticed that the Warthog has a bit more of a numb center. Not inaccurate, but numb. In aerial refueling, this actually helps out a lot because it makes the center of the stick more smooth, especially after you're connected. The Gunfighter is incredibly precise and accurate, though it did take a little bit of getting used to after using the Warthog for several years. As usual, I'm not going to fill all the way up. And finally, we have some Star Citizen. This is being recorded on Star Citizen 3.14, which as of this recording is on the open PTU. This stick of course pairs up well with the GNX, as they do share a grip. Flying feels great, and it's extremely smooth and predictable as usual. So let's talk pros and cons. We'll start with the pros. Number 1. Customization. Of all the joysticks I've used so far, this is by far the most customizable of all of them. From cams to springs to grips to friction clutches and to extensions, you can make this system work however is best for you. Number 2, quality. This joystick is absolute top-notch quality, well engineered, functional, rugged, and beautiful. I guess the last one's a bit opinion. Number 3, price. What? Price? This stick comes in at $379 as tested. How is that a pro? Yeah, well, when you compare it to its main competition, the Virpil Warbird with Constellation Alpha at $425 US about, it's a great deal. You could say that the Windwing Super Libre at $349 when it's on sale is every bit as a good deal, but keep in mind that to make it equal, you'd have to add the Z-axis module for $79.99. So that still makes VKB the best value at the top end for the stick only. Now for some cons. Number 1. Because it utilizes the same grip as the Gladiator NXT, it does still have the same problem on either side of the face of the grip, where there are sharp areas where it looks like the face of the stick's bezel just doesn't match up with the rest of the grip. In addition, there is a ridge right above the thumb rest. These spots don't always cause issues, but they're odd for such a really high quality piece otherwise. Number 2. You cannot adjust the clutches without partially disassembling the stick. This makes dialing in your dampening a bit harder than it should be, in my opinion. Number 3. Though the proprietary connector isn't bad, imagine how nice it would be if they used the same standard type of connector that Virpil and Thrustmaster did. But I guess this is only a partial con because VKB does offer a package to convert your Thrustmaster style sticks to the VKB connector. So with all this said, should you buy this stick? Well, maybe. I still hold to the comment that I've made repeatedly. The majority of sim players would be perfectly satisfied with the Gladiator NXT, but for those who aren't, for those who want a more customizable experience with longer lasting, much higher quality components, this is a great stick for you. With the parts that are available from VKB, again, you can convert your Thrustmaster sticks to use on your VKB Gunfighter base, which means that you can use whatever type of grip that you choose to. So if you're in the market for a Warthog or above, I would highly recommend this stick. And as usual, here are some recommendations to VKB. First and foremost, on your next edition of the Kosmosima grip, just fix the minor issues that the stick has, such as the slightly sharp edges on a couple of places. We need to see the Tech's throttle get released. I've heard that it's going to be really soon, maybe even within a couple weeks of this video, but the Gunfighter desperately needs a throttle. We desperately need to be able to call this a HOTAS. I really hope that we see additional button boxes available as well to compete with the industry peers. And finally, improve customer support. I didn't include that in the cons, but it was not specifically for the Gunfighter. But the customer support experience is critical when you're in such a niche industry. I really enjoyed my time with this stick, and I can say without question that it is the best stick that I've used up to this point. Its feel is head and shoulders above the Warthog. I have really enjoyed messing around with the different customization options, and the clutches for dampening work great. It will be very interesting to see how it stacks up against its high-end competition. I'm really eager to see what else VKB has for us in the near future. Remember that I'm giving away an $80 Star Citizen game package or a DCS module when my channel hits 1,000 subscribers. All you have to do to enter is to be subscribed and comment on my videos from the beginning of 2021 to when the drawing takes place. A random video will be selected, and then a random comment from that video will win. On a side note for the giveaway, your subscriptions have to be public, otherwise I can't verify that you're subscribed. I have a couple of great videos coming, including a review of Fox mounts and a video on how to build simple wooden mounts for your desk, so stay tuned for these reviews coming in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day.